Hi, welcome to Madera Canyon. I'm Doug Moore. I'm a naturalist with the Friends of Madera Canyon, and we're here at the Proctor Trailhead. This is the mouth of the canyon, beautiful Santa Rita Mountains, Sky Islands, southeast Arizona. This is part of the Coronado National Forest. The Proctor Trail is the gateway to the canyon, and it's a great place to start exploring if you want to check out the nature of Madera Canyon. The trail is not very long. It's only a 6/10 of a mile loop, but it goes through 5 different plant communities. In this video series, we're going to take a virtual field trip up the loop, and you're going to get a chance to go through these plant communities and meet some of the plants and animals that live here. In this first chapter, we're going to walk through semi-desert grassland. That's the first plant community that you find here at Madera Canyon. It covers the whole surrounding area, and it's a very interesting endangered habitat. Here, we'll want to take a walk. Come with me, and we'll explore and see what we can find out in the semi-desert grassland.
As we arrive in Madera Canyon, we see that grasses seem to dominate the landscape. There are multiple kinds of grasses spread out over this entire area. We also see multiple kinds of shrubs, trees, and flowers along with the grasses. Here we see a Palmer's agave. It's a succulent plant with sharp thorns and teeth. But what we see changes with the seasons. In the wintertime, we get moisture in the form of both snow and rain. In the lower altitudes, much of the moisture is in the form of rain. This rain stimulates the growth of spring flowers. One of the first flowers we see in the spring is the Mexican gold poppy. They're often seen in larger areas. The flower is easily identified. It has bright orange gold flowers with 4 petals, and it grows fairly low to the ground. We'll also see the New Mexico thistle. It has pink, lavender, or white flowers. These flowers can be fairly large, up to 3 inches across, and the leaves have sharp, spiny teeth. These big, colorful flowers attract a lot of insects, including bees. We might also spot a white desert chicory. It's a flower of lots of petals, called a composite. The petals are white with ends that look like a fork, with 5 tiny teeth. After spring comes summer and a whole new set of flowers. Late spring and summer rains bring out the summer flowers. Here we see an example of a localized monsoon rainstorm. Among the summer flowers is a tall morning glory. It blooms from August through October. Its vines can be up to 13 feet long. It has funnel-shaped flowers with 5 petals. Flowers come in blue, purple, pink, or white. Next we see a flame flower with 5 orange oval petals about 1 inch across. It blooms July and August. And here we see a beggar tick's daisy. It blooms August to October with white ray flowers. Its seeds stick to clothes and animal fur. Many insects live in the grassland during the spring and summertime. Here we see a Pima orange-tip butterfly, one of many kinds of butterflies you can see flying through Madera Canyon. Along with butterflies, we'll see lots of different kinds of beetles in Madera Canyon. Here we see a calligraphy beetle. This leaf beetle loves to eat globe mallow leaves. It comes out during the monsoon rains in summer. When it first emerges from its pupa, it is bright red, but soon turns green. And of course, we'll always see lots of kinds of grasshoppers. Here is a slant-faced grasshopper. Look at the shape of its head. And finally, we see a horse lubber grasshopper. This large grasshopper grows up to 2 inches long, and we see it June through August. The females can get so big that they cannot fly. Their wings are just not big enough to hold them up in the air. As we walk down the Proctor Trail, One of the things we see on the right are two burned fence posts. These fence posts are here to remind us of a fire that took place in 2007. The fire occurred in June and burned out most everything, including trees. You can see that the small brush is gone. By August, you can see new growth starting to come back, even though the trees are pretty burned. In a short while, the new green brush dominated the landscape. But mesquite trees have very deep roots. Today, we see all of the mesquite trees have come back and are all about the same size. So listen to Smokey Bear and help us prevent forest fires. The semi-desert grassland is a good habitat for reptiles like lizards. Here we see a regal horned lizard. It's about 4 inches long with a short tail. It has a flat body with thick spines. It eats ants, and its camouflage colors help protect it from its enemies. The small desert grassland whiptail is often seen running along the trail. This slender lizard is about 6 inches long. On a nice sunny day, we may also see the ornate earless lizard. It's one of our smallest grassland lizards. The males and females have a different pattern of markings. The one we're looking at is a male. There are many kinds of birds that we see in the grasslands. Sparrows love grass seeds and insects like grasshoppers. Some species stay here all winter. Some others migrate here for the summer. Here we see a white-crowned sparrow. This white-crowned sparrow migrates north for the summer. Many go all the way to northern Canada. The scaled quail is a special semi-desert grassland resident, one of 2 quail species that birdwatchers come to Madeira Canyon to see. Keeping our eyes open, we might see the loggerhead shrike. It's about 9 inches big, gray above, white below, with a black eye mask. Its hooked bill preys on insects and lizards. This is another winter migrant that hunts here in the winter, then migrates north for the summer. The acatillo is a tall shrub with thin, thorny branches. This is a very important grassland plant found around Madeira Canyon. Acatillo flowers provide nectar and pollen for hummingbirds and insects. Spring hummingbird migration is timed with acatillo blooming. The nectar is a very important fuel source for the traveling hummingbirds. We are looking at the broad-billed hummingbird. This is one of the many hummingbirds that love the acatillo flower. Broad-billed hummingbird has a bright red bill, very distinctive green all over its body, and a dark blue throat. As for insects, you will see lots of insects flying around the acatillo flowers. Here we see a solitary bee. This is one of the many insects that visit acatillo flowers for nectar and pollen. There are more solitary bee species here than almost anywhere else on Earth.
As we clear this last big mesquite tree, the trail opens up to the west, and you can see all the way into the Santa Cruz Valley. From here, it's a very easy look down the Madeira Creek. You can see the big riparian trees, all the cottonwood leaves right now. You can also see some of the major landmarks. We have Elephant Head, which is a granite monolith that you can see from all over the valley. Beautiful, big, basically granite rock. And then across the valley, as far as you can see, the farthest mountain range is Babakiveri, which is a sacred peak to the Tono Odom people.
There are hundreds, if not thousands, of mesquite trees in the semi-desert grasslands. There's even quite a few along the Proctor Trail. When we look closely at these trees, we'll sometimes see some dead branches. When we look close, we see what looks like a saw cut on the branch. And when a cut like this is looked at very closely, we see it goes all the way around the branch. Something has cut through the bark, and the rings that bring food and water to the branch. This then kills off the branch beyond the cut. And what did this? It was a mesquite twig-girdling longhorn beetle. Here we see the beetle chewing on a mesquite twig. Longhorn beetles get their name from the extra long antenna. Among the many bushes and flowers, we'll find velvet pod mimosa growing along the trail. This is a summer flowering shrub from Mexico. It just barely ranges north into Arizona. The many close, tiny buds open at once to make a bouquet of flowers that look like a pink bottle brush. The velvet pod mimosa flowers turn white when they are pollinated. Here we see both pollinated flowers and unpollinated flowers. These flowered bushes attract lots of insects. Here we see two jewel beetles that live on the mimosa getting ready to mate. These flowering bushes attract lots of different kinds of insects and their predators. A good example is the green lynx spider. Here we see the green lynx feasting on a beetle. In late summer and fall, the green lynx spider is often seen on its egg sac. Here we see a number of baby spiders who have emerged and are wandering around. After they hatch, the babies stay in the nursery web sac until their first molt. Then they emerge, but they stay very close to each other and to mom. And the female mom fiercely protects her babies against predators. We have just completed a walk on the first 100 yards of the Proctor Trail. We have seen the wonderful plants and animals, birds, insects, flowers that reside in the desert grasslands. As we go around the corner, we enter into a new community of life. We will see that and hear about that in the next chapter.